government plans to increase safety in West Campus.
You're watching KVR News, your leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening and welcome back to KVR News. For Monday, December 5th, I'm Tsao.
And I'm Brianna Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers halted Dakota access pipeline construction after denying developers a key permit. This action bans the Energy Transfer Partners Company from running the pipeline through a Sioux reservation in North Dakota. The Standing Rock tribe hails this as a major victory that will preserve sacred lands and prevent water pollution on their reservation. The federal government is considering alternative routes for developing this $3 billion project.
Despite this victory, tribal leaders worry this decision may not be permanent under Trump's administration. President-elect Trump vowed to continue support for pipeline construction. Similarly, Energy Transfer Chief Executive Kelsey Warren stated the company is unwilling to reroute the pipeline, pending further updates. Energy Transfer has not threatened legal actions against the Corps.
13 deaths have now been confirmed in the massive wildfires that blazed over eastern Tennessee's Sevier County. The fires are described as the state's largest in 100 years and are believed to be human-made. At least 85 other people have been injured as a direct result of the fires, and more than 1,000 structures have been severely damaged or destroyed. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation continues to locate reported missing persons.
Residents in southeast Austin protested efforts to demolish the Montropolis Negro School. The historically African-American school educated black students from 1935 to 1962. Developer Austin Tsao owns the land that the school is located on and applied for a permit to demolish the school in order to build apartments. Protesters and previous students hope that the city council will decide to make the school a historic landmark instead.
A new study shows that Black and Latino children in Austin are more likely to live in poverty. 33% of Black children and 25% of Latino children lived on or under the poverty line. Comparatively, only 5% of white and 4% of Asian children face poverty. The study found that historical and current policies contributed to unequal opportunities among children. They called on community leaders and policymakers to examine the study and implement changes that address disparities.
With the holiday season just around the corner and people traveling to the city, our Avery Travis shows us how APD is expanding the no refusal policy for drinking and driving, and what to do if you get pulled over.
The Austin Police's DWI unit makes around 5,500 arrests a year. They're working to eliminate drunk driving with a policy called No Refusal.
If we don't have to do any of those things, and all we had to do is put a sign up that said No Refusal Weekend, then we've done our job.
This past Halloween saw 54 arrests during a No Refusal Weekend, but what many people don't know is it isn't just days like Halloween and July 4th. They've extended the policy to every Friday and Saturday night through the end of the year. And with the holidays coming up, it may even become a nightly policy. If you've been pulled over and they ask you for a blood or breath sample, you can always refuse. The officer can then get a warrant for the sample regardless of your non-consent. So really the only difference on a No Refusal Weekend is they will get that warrant 100% of the time, which APD hopes deters an intoxicated person from ever pulling out the keys. It is that chemical evidence that defense attorney Richard Segura says either incriminates or exonerates you. While some attorneys tell their clients to refuse all the tests, Segura's advice is a bit different.
If you choose to have one margarita, one glass of wine with your dinner, if you know that you're not anywhere near the legal limit, provide that blood or breath test. If you do refuse to do everything, the officer is going to be forced to make his determination based on what he has in front of him.
But Detective Mabe says he would rather his unit make that arrest if it means scaring drunk drivers from getting behind the wheel.
Nobody can describe the feeling, other than being on the other side of it, when you show up on a crash scene and realize that someone's loved one is dead because of the decision that somebody else made.
Avery Travis, KVR News.
UT student government finished surveying West Campus in efforts to create Wise Walks, a map that will indicate the safest streets in West Campus. The initiative plans to partner with a number of fraternities and sororities to ensure better lighting surrounds their properties. Wise Walks creator Isaiah Carter confirmed Sigma Chi fraternity is already examining how to improve lighting around their house. The map is set to be unveiled early spring next semester.
So what we've been doing for the past weeks is just kind of sitting there and waiting for surveyors to go out and bring back their information. So on December 1st is when all that information is due. And after that, I'm going to spend the entire winter break basically taking it, sorting it, compiling it, finding discrepancies and figuring those out, and then turning it into a map that will hopefully be unveiled at the beginning of the spring semester.
There are never too many ways to stay safe. Student government has certainly had a busy semester, Ashley.
They definitely have, and we'll be back for a live interview with Student Government Vice President Binna Kim. Stay tuned.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News Tip Line, 475-8181.
Welcome back to KVR News. Joining us here today is Student Government Vice President Binna Kim. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you, Ashley, for having me.
And when you and Kevin were running for Executive Alliance, you each kind of chose to take an initiative under your wing, and your focus primarily is to prevent sexual assault and rape on campus. And what has UTSG done this semester to reach that goal?
Yeah, well, we've done a lot so far. Coming into the position, a big focus on internal change and then external impact as well. So at UT, what are we doing? And looking at that really critically. So the first thing that we've created is the Interpersonal Violence Prevention Coalition. So that has representatives from Voice Against Violence, Be Vocal, which is bystander prevention. We've got Not on My Campus, Steps for Survivors, Orange Jackets, Blazers, just all these student organizations on campus that are focused on sexual assault prevention and making sure that we're working together, really strategizing and making the most high impact programming, and been really great working with administrators and also the Title IX office. So that's been really awesome on the 40 acres. Aside from that, doing some external impact as well across the country. Earlier in November, we actually went out to West Virginia for a Big 12 Student Government Conference, and they're partnering with schools like TCU and West Virginia, and actually have a phone call set up later this week with some representatives to figure out a national campaign that we're going to start, actually help film a video at that conference that will be coming out next semester. So really excited.
And it's great how you and members of your administration have been so vocal about social issues. And in particular, Kevin Helgren, he's been extremely vocal about supporting issues like affirmative action and Black Lives Matter. And why do you think it's so important for student leaders such as yourself and for President Helgren to be so vocal?
Yeah, I think we definitely see these positions as an honor. We are obviously elected by our student body, and students really want us to, I think, voice their concerns. With things like affirmative action and Black Lives Matter, I think for us, more than anything, we see these movements and these policy areas really impact the students on our campus, our friends, people that we're just having conversations with. So I think it's really, we feel that responsibility to really advocate for those students, because it's not just policy for us, it's real student experiences on the 40 acres.
Right, and you two are huge supporters of diversity, but it's been an issue long before you came into office, whether or not student government was diverse enough and whether or not it represented the student body. So what efforts have your administration taken to remedy this issue?
Yeah, so thinking about diversity, I think, goes a lot farther than just race or gender or religion. We're really looking at difference, definitely in those things, but also different perspectives. So how can we outreach for students who may not be connected with student government in high school or don't have friends that were representatives within the assembly? Because I think typically that's how students get involved. They have a friend who did it, and so we do a lot of outreach. This summer we did a lot of tabling at every single summer orientation. We spoke at different orientations targeted for different students. Like I know there's a specific orientation for Black students on campus, and student government has never tabled there over the summer, so we made sure to do that. So really meeting students where they're at, making sure they hear about student government even before they start college year.
And fantastic. Y'all are certainly keeping yourselves busy,
Yes.
but what initiatives will UT student government be focusing on next semester?
A lot. So as Kevin and I ran on 5 different platform points, but I guess speaking specifically on sexual assault that I'll be working on, we will be promoting that video that I talked about. It's going to have representation from all student governments within the Big 12 conference, which I'm really excited about. We had a huge focus of sexual assault because I think UT has done a really great job the past couple of years addressing it and really supporting our survivors. We, of course, always have so much more work to do, but really uniting as a conference. And definitely a Big 12 conference is known for sports and different things like that, but using our positions for a bigger thing in sexual assault prevention is just that. So I'm excited for the next semester.
And we're looking forward to that next semester. And thank you so much for joining us, Binna, and we'll have more KVR news after the break.
Coming up next, find out just how expensive living in West Campus is. Dell Medical School hosts a TED Talk.
And see how Austinites support local vendors during the holidays.
We'll have more coming up on KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
West Campus and downtown apartments have the second most expensive rent rates in the city of Austin. 2-bedroom apartments near campus have an average rent of $2,500. UT-owned 2-bedroom apartments are listed around $670. Overall, the average rent rates in Austin have risen by nearly $100 since this time last year. Students who are unable to afford the high rent rates tend to commute from other areas like Riverside and North Austin. However, the average commute time for most students living off campus is around 35 minutes.
Rent around campus is ridiculous. Like, people are paying twice as much as what I'm paying for my own bedroom and own bathroom to share a room. So, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous how expensive everything is.
UT's Dell Medical School hosted a medical-themed TED Talk posing the question, what if? The seminar included 7 video presentations on compassion when dealing with prognoses and patient care. This was followed by a Q&A session with Dell Medical School's Associate Dean of Comprehensive Care, Dr. David Ring. Attendees, which included several medical students and Dell professors, were able to share personal stories about dealing with patients on emotional issues. Dr. Ring tells us why he thinks this particular TED Med is important.
The key thing there is if we focus on the technical aspects of what we do, we think how different we are. But if we focus on the human aspects of what we do, there's so much in common.
A new project headed by 2 Moody assistant professors trains Texas parents to develop the speech and language skills of children diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders. It's called SKILLS, which stands for Skills and Knowledge of Intervention for Language Learning and Success. According to co-director J.C. Franco, a communication sciences and disorders professor, developing communication leads to lower anxiety levels and higher success rates in later endeavors. The teams have been working with a few families this semester, and they're looking forward to expanding their outreach to parents all across the state.
Approximately 2,500 UT students graduated this semester and closed the final chapter of their university career. While UT has the highest 4-year graduation rate in Texas, statistics show the disparity between male and female enrollment in STEM majors remains high. In 2015, only 1,934 women in the Cockrell School of Engineering were enrolled, compared to 5,768 men. Similarly, the Macomb School of Business had almost 1,000 more males enlisted than females. Overall, women dominate enrollment in the fine arts, nursing, communication, and liberal arts, with the greatest disparities in communication and fine arts. With finals quickly approaching and the weather dropping so fast, it's pretty easy to find ourselves a little more stressed out than usual. We went out and asked students how they de-stress.
Planning out my week and making sure that I'm following an agenda.
Oh, you know, go out with friends, party it up, like that whole jazz, probably listen to music.
I'm planning to go to the Finals Fest that they're having at the Union today, and then we're also having pets here at Jester, and I'm really excited about that.
I think my foremost plan for de-stressing is probably just going to be to drop out. But no, I just kidding. No, I'm going to be going to the gym probably a lot. I run, so that's probably what I'm going to be doing pretty much every day. Just try to keep myself active and try to keep myself from just thinking about it too much.
The holiday season is a time for gift giving. The Allies Market was a venue for Austinites to shop while supporting local vendors. Items sold included art, jewelry, music, clothing, toys, cosmetics, coffee, and more. Shoppers of all ages walked around Fair Market, buying gifts for their loved ones. The goal of the market is to promote fair and direct trade, as well as support merchants who use their businesses to promote employment for the local community.
Each item is made by hand. They pick out the color of the fabric or the yarn, and then they make it with love. And it's showing their children an example too of dedication and hard work.
Ashley, the chilly December weather is definitely in town. It's making me more and more excited for the holidays.
For sure, it's definitely making it harder to study for finals. I just want to curl up with a cup of hot cocoa in bed.
Well, our Sean Dolan is live in the Weather Center with our break weather. Sean?
Well, looks like you can take out your heavier jackets for later this week. We'll have the forecast after the break.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Winter is now definitely on its way. It was rainy today with a high of 53 degrees, and it's going to get down to about 45 degrees tonight. Tomorrow we're going to start off with a little bit of fog until about 9 a.m., and then the sun's going to poke out just a little bit later on in the day. We'll have a high of 64 and a low of 44 at the end of Tuesday. Middle of the week we'll have a light breeze throughout the day, getting up to about 63 and getting down to 37 at night. Later on in the week, Thursday and Friday look like good days to stay inside and study for finals, as the highs will be 45 and lows of 30 and 34. We're going to round out this cold and cloudy week of weather with a cloudy weekend with a high of 57 and a low of 50 on Saturday. We'll have a partly sunny Sunday, reaching to a nice 68-degree day, getting down to about 53 degrees. Enjoy the week, Longhorns, and good luck on finals. Live in the Weather Center, Sean Dolan.
Thanks, Sean.
We'll be back with your entertainment news after the break.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
The Lost Tango in Paris starring reveal Moana tops box office, and 2016 named the best year for blacks in cinema. We have all this coming up next after the break. Oh, sorry. A 2013 interview with director of the 1972 hit film Bernardo Bertolucci had a shocking reveal. In the interview, Bertolucci admits that the rape scene with Marlon Brando and Maria Schneider was in fact not consensual. Bertolucci admits he wanted Schneider, who was 19 during shooting, to act as a girl and not as an actress. Many celebrities took to social media to express outrage, with Captain America star Chris Evans tweeting he was enraged after hearing the news. Pitch Perfect star Anna Kendrick says she's glad to see that this is receiving more attention now. On a more positive note, Moana tops box office for the second time. The animated feature pulled in an estimated $28.4 million in North America, helping Disney push past an industry record in North America. Disney made an estimated $2.49 billion this year, topping the previous annual record. With the help of Marvel Studio Doctor Strange, Disney's international total monetary gain sits at $4.8 million. The African American Film Critic Association declares 2016 to be the best year for blacks in cinema history. a large amount of Black movies are currently experiencing a great amount of critical praise and box office success. Films such as Moonlight, Loving, Hidden Figures, and Fences have all garnered a lot of attention ahead of Oscars award season. Tara J.P. Henson, Denzel Washington, and director Barry Jenkins are just a few of the heavy contenders to be considered for awards. This marks a significant time considering last year, where Black films and actors were largely ignored during the Oscars award season.
Thanks, Danielle, and thank you for tuning into our last episode of the semester.
Be sure to follow us during the holiday break for news updates throughout the week. You can follow us on Twitter at KVR News. I'm Brianna Rodriguez.
And I'm Ashley Tsao. Stay tuned for College Press Box up next on Texas Student Television. Happy holidays.